What will happen to your body if you keep eating apples for 30 days? On the first day of eating apples, sweet, crisp apples give you an extraordinarily refreshing feeling. The large amount of dietary fiber and water in apples make you feel very full. You won't want to eat anything else for a while. On the third day of eating apples, you'll be surprised how often you go to the bathroom to have a bowel movement. This is because the dietary fiber in the apple plays a role in bowel movement. On the seventh day of eating apples, when you wake up in the morning, your mouth doesn't smell so bad. Look in the mirror and find that your teeth are also much whiter and brighter. This is because the stubborn stains on your teeth are afraid of the cleaning power of apple cider vinegar. On the 15th day of eating apples, without any exercise, you weigh yourself and realize that you have lost weight. This is because apples are not only low in calories but also very satiating. After eating apples, reduces your desire to eat other foods. On the 20th day of eating apples, you may find that your skin has a new look. There are fewer pimples, and your face is not so dull and waxy, thanks to the vitamin C and E in apples. It also saves you a lot of money on skin care products. On the 25th day of eating apples, you'll find that your forgetfulness has improved. Your memory doesn't seem so bad. This is because apples are full of antioxidants. These antioxidants help protect nerve cells from oxidative damage and keep your brain healthy. After 30 days of eating apples, people around you are envious of your skin and mental state. The change in your energy level will give you a new lease of life. You feel more confident. This is because of the countless nutrients in apples. The amount of vitamins, minerals, fiber and antioxidants in apples are constantly nourishing your body. The key is that apples are pretty cheap. Everyone can afford to eat them.
Do you know how much harm smoking can cause to your body? When you light up a cigarette, the tobacco undergoes combustion at temperatures of around 1,000 degrees, generating smoke that contains over 2,000 harmful substances. Among these, hundreds of chemicals pose a carcinogenic risk to your body. When they pass through your oral cavity, they create a burning sensation and damage the oral mucosa. The smoke then travels down the trachea and into your lungs, where the chemicals in the smoke can clog your alveoli. To maintain oxygen exchange, your lungs have to work in overdrive by increasing your breathing rate to allow more air into your lungs. Due to the abundance of carbon monoxide and nicotine in the smoke, they enter your bloodstream through the pulmonary capillaries, leading to oxygen deprivation in your body. As your blood circulates through your heart, it detects these subtle changes, causing your heart rate to accelerate to pump more blood into your brain to maintain balance. This mixture of toxic substances and low oxygen blood travels through your blood vessels to the depths of your brain. Nicotine stimulates your brain to release neurotransmitters like dopamine and endorphins, creating feelings of pleasure and relaxation. Over time, this can lead to nicotine addiction, and the entire process takes just 8 seconds. Nicotine also causes blood vessels to constrict and thicken, increasing the risk of platelet aggregation and gradual blockages. Prolonged smoking can lead to terrifying cellular mutations, increasing the risk of cancer. Approximately 1/3 of global cancers are associated with smoking. Besides the potential for lung cancer, smoking can also cause other types of cancer and various adverse effects like vision problems and increased wrinkles. So for the sake of your health, should you consider quitting smoking?
Have you ever wondered how this magic trick was done? It kind of looks like this trick, except we actually see the magician walking around beforehand. So the explanation can't be an elaborate hidden mechanism underneath his clothing, right? Wrong. This magician sticks his cane into a metal base hidden underneath the rug. The cane then connects to a rod that goes up his sleeve and is attached to a back brace. This back brace is fixed to a harness which allows the magician to use his core strength to lift his legs. Watch the trick again and see if you can notice. Have you ever wondered how this trick is done? Like, where did those doves come from? He made them appear out of nowhere. Well, the explanation to this trick is actually really simple. The magician uses the flash paper to get your focus away from his hands. He then pulls on a string to pull the first dove from a hidden pocket in his sleeve. And while you're looking at the first dove, he pulls on a string to grab the other dove. Watch this trick again and see if you can notice. So how the heck did David Blaine levitate? In part 1, I showed you that he was performing the Balducci levitation. But what's going on here? This and this are not the same thing. Well, look closely at this clip. He stands at an angle about 4 feet away from the audience. But when he actually levitates, he's no longer at an angle, and he's a good 20 feet away. In this clip, notice how the sun is spilling all over the road. But when he levitates just 4 seconds later, the sunlight is gone. These are called pickup shots, and they're filmed at a different time than the rest of the video. David Blaine performed the Balducci levitation the entire time, but later, he and his producers went back to the same location, rigged up some kind of wire lift, found some extras, and made you believe that this man was flying. Have you ever wondered what the difference is between a motel and a hotel? Well, hotels usually have bigger rooms connected by an interior hallway, and in the early 20th century, they were the main option and usually located in larger cities. But after World War II, the creation of highways made long car trips more common, so a new type of hotel started to pop up. It had smaller rooms that were only accessible from the parking lot, making it easier for people traveling in cars. These new hotels were called motor hotels and eventually became shortened to motels. If you drop a penny off the top of a skyscraper, you've probably heard that it would fall so fast it could potentially end the life of a pedestrian if it were to hit them. But is this actually true? Well, when you drop something, gravity pulls it down while air resistance slows its fall. But because pennies are flat, their air resistance is increased, which means the fastest speed they could fall is around 30 to 50 miles per hour. And while this may sound fast, it's not fast enough to kill or even seriously injure someone. If you drop a penny off the top of a skyscraper, you've probably heard that it would fall so fast it could potentially end the life of a pedestrian if it were to hit them. But is this actually true? Well, when you drop something, gravity pulls it down while air resistance slows its fall. But because pennies are flat, their air resistance is increased, which means the fastest speed they could fall is around 30 to 50 miles per hour. And while this may sound fast, it's not fast enough to kill or even seriously injure someone.
In some toy cars are often installed with this special wheel, moving very flexible. Whether it is forward and backward or left and right traverse, it can be easily realized. This special wheel is the McNamee wheel, which was invented by the Swedish McNamee Company in 1973. The most obvious thing about it is that there is a ring of smaller wheels around the larger wheel, and these are mounted diagonally at 45 degrees. The small wheel itself is not powered. When the big wheel turns, it follows the turn, belongs to the follower wheel. In order for it to realize linear or lateral movement, first of all, there are requirements for the placement of the 4 wheels during installation. The angle of the 2 wheels corresponding to the front and back cross is the same, and the angle of the 2 sets of wheels is just the opposite. And secondly, all 4 wheels must be powered. Of course, the mounting method is not fixed, and there are various corresponding angles according to the demand. If you want to realize lateral movement, cross the corresponding wheels of one group of positive rotation, the other group of reverse rotation on the line. All wheels rotate in the same direction to move forward or backward. If only the 2 wheels that correspond to each other rotate, and the other 2 wheels do not move, it is possible to spin in place. The McNamee wheel can be moved in different directions, making it ideal for environments with limited transit space and narrow working aisles, and is more commonly used on forklifts. It allows forklifts to move flexibly and freely in tight spaces, so it will be used in aerospace overhaul, corporate factories, logistics handling, and other industries. However, its shortcomings are also particularly obvious. In situ turnaround, arbitrary rotation is indeed flexible enough, but it is not fast, and the small wheels are still mounted diagonally, which is doomed to wear and tear is very large. So even though it was invented so many years ago, it can only be used in some special vehicles.
Do you know how twins, triplets, quadruplets are formed? Is it a combination of one sperm and several eggs? We'll find out in this video. First, after a lot of movement, a man releases over 300 million tadpoles, but only one of them will be able to bond with the egg. Once the tadpole has bonded with the egg, the zona pellucida will rapidly solidify. The outer passageway will be closed and the remaining tadpoles will be blocked off. After about 24 hours, a fertilized egg will form inside. Multiple births can be of two types: polygamy and monozygotic polygamy. Multi-egg multiples, which means that, given a number of factors, multiple eggs are released by the mother at the same time. They combine with sperm to form multiple fertilized eggs. Because they have different genetic material, the appearance, gender, and blood type of the fetus are also different. A boy-girl twins is a type of dizygotic twins. The other kind is monozygotic, which is when an egg is fertilized. The fertilized egg divides and finally develops into several fetuses. Because their genetic material is basically the same, so the fetuses have the same appearance, gender, and blood type. Multiple fetuses of the same sex all look extremely similar. Monozygotic twins are more complicated. Depending on when the fertilized egg divides, there are four main types. If it divides too late, it will form a Siamese twins. In history, there have been 5 monozygotic fetuses. So for those of you in front of the screen, do you prefer a single one or twins, or a boy-girl twins, or 3 to 5?